Hello everyone, I am Dr. Anuradha and I welcome you all on behalf of New Delhi Healthcare Academy. Today we are going to talk on early pregnancy failure, some tips and tricks of how to diagnose definitive and suspicious cases. Let's see. So early pregnancy failure. So what is actually an early pregnancy failure? How do you diagnose and how do you define that? So as a gynecologist, I am sure all of us are in dilemma sometimes that shall we go ahead with termination of pregnancy or shall we give some more time? So let us understand what is an early pregnancy failure. So early pregnancy failure is defined as a non-viable intrauterine pregnancy with either an empty gestational sac or a gestational sac with an embryo or a fetus without a cardiac activity within first 12 weeks and 6 days of gestation. So whenever there is either an embryo not seen after a certain duration of pregnancy, or when an embryo is seen or a fetus but the cardiac activity is not seen, then we define that as early pregnancy failure. Now let us understand what are the features and why should we actually identify. So basically we are using transabdominal and transvaginal ultrasound both, and in confusion we also take help of beta HCG. Okay, these two tests, that is the ultrasound and beta HCG, are two important tests conducted to come to a conclusion. So what is the dilemma? First of all, we would like to know whether this is an intrauterine pregnancy or an ectopic, that is outside, viable or a non-viable pregnancy, and if it is an intrauterine pregnancy of uncertain viability or an pregnancy of unknown location, let us understand how we diagnose that. So what happens to us in the clinic every day? Whenever we are seeing an early pregnancy with either a bleeding or a pain abdomen, that means a patient has come to us where clinically we are saying she is a case of a threatened abortion. Then what all do we see on ultrasound? What all do we see on ultrasound? So we are going to see either an early pregnancy failure, that is embryonic demise, or a threatened abortion with some kind of a retroplacental hematoma or subchorionic hemorrhage, that we go to see, or she's already aborted and we only see retained products, or we see an ectopic pregnancy, a molar pregnancy, sometimes with an IUCD which is low lying and she has conceived. That could be a cause of, you can say, an early pregnancy, pain with bleeding, or some kind of a features of a threatened abortion. Or she already has some fibroids along with the pregnancy, also sometimes present with the features wherein there is some kind of a confusion. Now one slide, why I wanted to just revise this, because let us all understand and also kind of revise that how the conception takes place and what all do we see at different duration of pregnancy. Okay, so what is happening, by about 4.5 to 5 weeks we should be able to see a nice well defined gestational sac on transabdominal and transvaginal scan. Then on by 5th to, you can say, 5.5 week we should see a yolk sac. By 6th week we should actually see an embryo, maybe with also a cardiac activity of pulsations, let's say a lower limit of about maybe 90 to 100 beats per minute. Then by 6.5 to 7 weeks we see an amniotic membrane. Then comes the 7 weeks the spine, and then on 8 weeks you start seeing the head curvature, and then comes the movement of the embryo, and by 8 to 10 weeks we see a rhombencephalon, right? This is a like kind of a developmental milestones for an embryo. So now what are we going to talk today? Why is this small talk or saying something that how to actually have a suspicion and 100% sure that I can write in my ultrasound report an early pregnancy failure? Because once we have written this early pregnancy failure, that means now either she's going to go for a second opinion, or maybe she will directly go for termination if she her own patient or maybe somebody else's patient. And once you say that yes, for sure this pregnancy is not going to grow. So Society of Radiologists in Ultrasound in 2012, they came to this consensus panel wherein they said, whenever you're seeing an embryo with a crown rump length of 7 or more than 7 millimeters, but you're not seeing any cardiac activity on transvaginal scan, okay, one thing. Or whenever we are seeing a mean sac diameter, that means you're seeing a gestational sac of more than 25 millimeters, more than an equivalent to 25 millimeters, but no embryo on transvaginal scan. These are the two diagnostic features of early pregnancy failure. Or when we are not able to see an embryo with cardiac activity after 2 weeks of a scan that showed a gestational sac without a yolk sac, or absence of an embryo with cardiac activity after 11 days when an earlier scan showed a gestational sac with a yolk sac. That means if you're seeing a gestational sac with a yolk sac, you should wait for more than around 11 days. If you're seeing without a yolk sac, then wait for more than 2 weeks and repeat your scan. But if you're seeing an embryo with more than or equivalent to 7 millimeters without a cardiac activity, or only a gestational sac with more than or equivalent to 25 millimeters but no embryo, we can write that as early pregnancy failure. So this was something which I wanted to share today. And see now, this is a scan which is showing us an embryo where there is a CRL of 21 millimeters or 2.1 centimeter, which is almost equivalent to 8 weeks and 5 days, but there was no cardiac activity. So we could have easily written that this is a case of an early pregnancy failure. Now let us see this video. Okay, can you see this? There is no cardiac activity. There is no cardiac activity. So this was the same patient wherein this embryo is of about 21 millimeters but without a cardiac activity. Without a cardiac activity. Again see this. So in this case we can very confidently write this as an early pregnancy failure. Okay, early pregnancy failure. Now see this another slide, another patient who actually I think came today itself, and by LNP she was about 12 weeks, okay, and gestational sac is 2.8 centimeters, or you can say 28 millimeters. You know now that we have to take 3 dimensions in order to take the measurements of the gestational sac. So where we can easily write as an early pregnancy failure, early pregnancy failure. Now see, this is a longitudinal section of the uterus where this is the vagina and the cervix, and this is the fundus, and you can see an empty sac. You can see an empty sac. Can you all appreciate this? Empty sac. Again, this was something, same patient, and I took this as a transfer section wherein same picture, let's see. Now this was same patient as this one where I've showed you this picture. Okay, so that was only the 2 videos which I wanted to play and show you that how an empty embryo gestational sac looks like, where we are not able to see any embryo inside. This was again another patient, and you can see a gestational sac is measuring 33 millimeters. 33 millimeters. So such patients normally they present to you with some history of either abdominal pain or bleeding PV with early pregnancy, and you take the measurements and see then that what we are seeing. Again, let us see. Can you see this? And in this picture nicely, in fact, we are able to see a large amnion also. Large amnion also. So this was also gestational sac, see now, this is coming out to be 50 millimeters in fact, and no embryo seen in between. So these are the cases wherein we can very confidently write them as that yes, these are the patients who we can write as early pregnancy failure. Again, when you're seeing a CRL of 12 millimeters, as I told you, CRL of 7 millimeters, when you see a CRL of 7 millimeters but no cardiac activity, we can surely write down as an early pregnancy failure. Early pregnancy failure. Again, see this? No cardiac activity in this. And such patients wherein same patient as this, same patient, about 12 millimeters of CRL of an embryo, but no cardiac activity seen. So such patients, we are 100% sure that these are the cases of early pregnancy failure. Early pregnancy failure. Now let us see. So can you see now this video? Try to see how we are changing the movements, and nicely in this video you can see empty gestational sac is seen, but interestingly, can you appreciate that there is the thickness of the gestational sac wall is quite thick. Nice gestational reaction is seen, but still the embryo was not seen. Still the embryo was not seen, and then we thought that let us measure what is the gestational sac, and after taking the measurements, and I could see that gestational sac was coming out to be I think more than 25 millimeters. Let us see what are the measurements, and this very nicely you can see 27 millimeters. So whenever you see a gestational sac equivalent to 27 millimeters and no embryo with cardiac activity seen, beautifully and with confidence you can write down that yes, this is a case of an early pregnancy failure. So again, I will say this thing, remember this, more than 7 millimeters you can write down, more than 25 millimeters you can say it confidently, yes, this is a case of an early pregnancy failure. So in my next class, then I will be talking about what are the suspicious signs and what are the cases in which you will see some kind of a subchorionic hemorrhage, or maybe with an IUCD, with a fibroid, where we need to take extra care of our patients and maybe put them on some kind of a extra like progesterone dose or some bed rest or some more medicines to keep their pregnancy going. And thank you so much for attending this short session on definitive signs of early pregnancy failure. Thank you so much.